Yeah, sadly, those songs will only be heard on YouTube anymore. Jan Viljoen died this morning. So, hearty good morning from Welcome Bay, Tauranga. It's a beautiful morning down here. Close that down. Summer is here, eh?
Summer is here.
Summer is here. So that's the interesting fact. Summer is here. It's sad to see that. That as times come and go, people also aren't here anymore.
Yeah, it's very sad
this morning.
Yes, we really love this music. We still love it.
Yeah, he was a very special guy. I just read a few things that a few of the other musicians said about him, and the way that he came over was always quiet, subdued, held back. But yep, sad to think that guy was the same age as I am.
Yeah, scary.
So I'm the lucky one. All right, I'm the lucky one. We want to talk this morning about a few weird things. All right, so a few facts about New Zealand, and I do believe everybody knows all these facts. I mean, we've got smart people in this country, man. Yeah, South Africans are smart people. So
I just want to say something first.
There we go.
The struggle is real. Let me tell you. I have a karkaitjie on my eye. Now you try and explain to a doctor what a karkaitjie is if you don't know what the English word for that is.
Doesn't Google work?
And then the doctor doesn't know what it is either.
That problem was actually in 1893.
Well, I've learned now that a karkaitjie is a sty.
A what?
So, a sty.
I mean, that's a place where pigs stay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the female problem started in 1893 when New Zealand became the first country in the world to give women the right to vote.
Yeah.
So look where we are today. What can we say?
Yeah, well.
What can we say? Was that a good decision or not? Something I think people didn't know. They do know about this, but don't think they know about it this way. New Zealand is famous for its bungee jumping. That's where crazy people jump off bridges that has got no problem. And the first one was in 1988. All right. Well, the interesting thing was it wasn't Queenstown. I think everybody thought it wasn't Queenstown. 1988 was the first commercial one. That's where you had to pay to jump off a bridge. I mean, can you think people pay to jump off bridges? That
Okay, so where was it?
Was in Kawerau Bridge in Queenstown.
You just said that it wasn't in Queenstown.
No, it wasn't Queenstown. I mean, it was in Queenstown. Probably you misheard me. The karkaitjie is growing over the years. The other good fact about New Zealand is that it's the least, and remember, listen to this, the least populated country in the world.
I think I read this morning that only 5% of the population in New Zealand are human.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest
it's aliens.
Animals.
Or politicians. Now, the first person to climb Mount Everest, I don't know where he practiced, was Sir Edmund Hillary.
Maybe he climbed up Moa Hills.
He probably did the mount 50 times a day or something like that.
Yeah.
So Edmund Hillary is quite a famous guy, or who was quite a famous guy in New Zealand. And I think he's a proud heritage of New Zealand. I think he's even on one of the banknotes, if I'm right.
I don't know.
You don't see banknotes here often.
No, you never use them. Everything is
F-post. F-post.
Yeah.
F-post. Now, here's a crazy fact. Yes, here is probably one of those craziest facts, and you can't think that nobody ever saw this before. First person in the world to split the atom. Now, the atom then used to make bombs or to give us clean energy was a New Zealander called Baron Ernest Rutherford. Sounds very German. That was in 1919. 1919. And the joke is there's no nuclear power stations in New Zealand. So New Zealand has got the gun.
Yeah. And I think the brain power now left.
Yeah, I think.
I shouldn't say that.
No, you can't say that.
And then I think what's interesting for the people that love golf, like my son-in-law, I know, New Zealand has got the most golf courses per capita
Yep.
than anywhere else in the world. I think that it's got 400, what did I read this morning? 400 golf courses.
Something crazy like that, yeah.
And New Zealand
So-
isn't that big, huh?
Did you know that the first country in the world to see the sun every morning or to greet the new day is New Zealand?
Yes, I knew that.
If she's been on that beach, that's why she knew that. So
New Zealand is also the third closest country to Antarctica.
was the other.
I don't know.
Okay, that's what it's becoming important. And the boat guys, Auckland, also has the largest amount of boats per capita, more than any other city in the world.
I think everyone, all the men in New Zealand think they have to own a boat. Even if the thing doesn't work, they have to
It's a
own
must. It's a must. That's one of the things immigration asks you. Do you have boat? You must tick yes. Can you catch fish? Tick yes.
I think the women must think of something that they have to own.
Dishwashers? A mop? Interesting thing about Auckland as well, it's called City of Sails. That's quite interesting. So,
It's because of all the boats, yeah.
yeah. And to all the Springbok supporters, guys and girls, New Zealand won the first ever Rugby World Cup held in 1987. So, let's put it out there. Sorry, guys, and I'm going to get a lot of hate mail now. So, yeah. The other thing that New Zealanders won, and I don't know if this is still true, because the fact that I now have is a bit older. New Zealand has won more Olympic gold medals per capita than any other country. I don't know if that is still true, but that was at
No,
the
I don't
station.
think it will be true
These-
anymore.
You never know. You never know. They haven't been doing that badly. So while we are on fishing, all right, there was a dolphin in Whakatane Harbour quite a while ago, and that was actually a tourist attraction. This dolphin came out and had people.
Oh, yes, I remember
It's a
that.
big thing. It was a big thing.
Didn't he
there.
die?
He died a while ago.
Yeah,
But
I
he
remember
was
that.
there, and it
Yes,
was
everyone was talking about.
talking about this.
Another very interesting fact about New Zealand. It is the first country or one of the only countries in the world that appointed a real life wizard.
Yep,
We've seen the wizard.
we've seen the wizard, by the way.
in Christchurch.
Christchurch, yes.
Yeah. He sits there outside. Is it a museum? That,
Or a
what,
library or
or
something,
the
yeah.
school?
He's
I
got
don't
his
know what, but we saw him.
Own wizardry.
But he was so busy sitting there that we couldn't even get to him, right? There were a lot of people.
There was quite a few
surrounding him.
people around him.
Yeah, that was quite interesting.
So,
We didn't know about it, and then when we saw him, and then we heard people
well,
say,
actually,
"Oh,
was
that's a
yeah,
wizard."
well, actually, was a guy on the tram that said,
Yes.
"You know, this country or this town has got its own wizard." Blah blah
So
blah. And the next
what?
minute, yes, sits the wizard on the.
And now I saw this morning that it's on the internet. So
Yeah. So
we've got a wizard.
yeah.
And another thing that I read this morning is that there are more Scottish pipes in New Zealand than in Scotland.
Oh my goodness, JP would love this.
I read that
Yeah,
this morning.
JP would love this. Well, I was still on dolphins before I got rudely interrupted by Mrs. Know-it-all.
Sorry.
Back to the dolphin story. Hector's dolphin. It's a specific species of dolphin. It's the world's smallest marine dolphin, and it only is here in New Zealand. It grows to a maximum length of 1.5 meters. So Hector's dolphin.
I want one.
Oh my goodness! There we go again.
1.5
when she last said,
meters like this.
it's not big.
I want one.
No, it's like a large snapper.
I wonder, does it live in salt
In-
water? Probably.
Yeah, it lives in water. Yeah. I do believe it. This dolphin lives in water. So.
Very funny.
Have anybody heard about the kakapo?
No.
Have you heard about the kakapo? That's a big parrot like
Oh.
this. Yeah. There's actually a video somewhere on the internet where this parrot gets on the policeman's car and starts chewing all the rubber, like the wipers and stuff.
No, man.
Yep.
Isn't that the Kia?
I think they're in the Kia. I
It's
don't
the
know.
Kia. It's not the Cockapoo.
As far as I know, it was a parrot in the South Island. Could be that I've
It's
got the wrong
Kia.
bird here.
Yes.
But the kakapo is the only flightless parrot in the world that is in New Zealand.
Okay. It's not the
I
Cockapoo.
will have to. I'll make sure about that fact. I'll post that a bit later. You remember when we went to Mata Mata?
Mm.
We have popped over to Motomata, and then we went to Hobbiton.
Mm.
Right. Hobbiton is the one of the 29 places in New Zealand where they shot the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I need to skip
Trilogy.
Trilogy. Oh, that sounds good, eh? Trilogy. So these guys of the Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson was I think he was born in New Zealand, if I'm right. Yeah, he was born in New Zealand, as well as the director Jane Campion, who did the piano. I haven't seen the piano. Have you seen the piano?
Yeah.
I only saw a piano, but not the piano.
It was a very
What was it? Heartful?
disturbing.
Disturbing movie. Good movie. Okay. The most popular New Zealand films as well was Once We Were Warriors. The
Okay,
Whale,
tell us something that's
Rider,
interesting.
The Piano,
please.
and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So a lot of people know the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So I think down in Matamata, it's an adventure. I just told somebody yesterday that's a place that you must visit once.
Yeah, it is definitely. It is a little bit expensive. Not that much, but it is a little bit expensive. But it's definitely worth the money. I think it's definitely worth the money.
I also think it's worth the money.
If you have seen, even if you haven't seen the movies, it's still worth visiting.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the movies, then you really can't miss it. It's really something that you have.
I got to say something about that movie. While we were there was a guy down there, and
He was part of our tour group.
And he was a movie fundi. Eh?
I think a Lord of the Rings and Hobbiton.
Yeah.
He knew the movies by heart.
He even explained some of the scenes down there, and the tour guide was very knowledgeable. That actually surprised me.
Yes.
You normally get tour guides and they can tell you stories, blah blah blah. But this guy actually came in and said they did this movie while they were sitting there facing that way, but it was not a sunrise; it was a sunset. So they played the movie around backwards so that the sun came up and it didn't go down.
It's very interesting.
Very,
it's
very
really
interesting.
Something that you must do.
So if you are in that league where you go into the smaller details of films and stuff, I mean, Hobbiton is a must.
Once a year or every now and then, they have like a Hobbit dinner. So then you can dress up like a Hobbit and go there for dinner. It's really, really a very nice place to visit. We must actually go there again. It was fun.
The next fact before we talk about that fact, I'm trying to see if I click there, that'll play on the screen now. All right, it's clearly not wanting to play that much this morning. That is our latest video on Expedition Aotearoa. We do have a Facebook page that's for our 4x4 people, and we uploaded this video last night, and it absolutely went ballistic. So I'm glad that.
I must say, you do see parts of New Zealand that otherwise you would never have seen, and I think what helps a lot is the drone, because when you just drive down the road, it's still very beautiful, and it's really beautiful. But the drone just gives you another perspective of what it's like. It's
I don't want to call it a problem, but when you drive down New Zealand country roads, you're fenced in with trees, either mountain on the side and tree on the other side.
So you don't see the water down
you
below.
Do get glimpses between the trees. As you would see in the video, you do get glimpses of the water below, and the color of the water. The color of the water in New Zealand, if it's a sunny day, is absolutely a stunning blue color.
You know what? I just realized again this week. We just drove around all the areas around us where we live, and parts of the suburb that we've never been in before, and it is really just so beautiful. The one part that we drove, my son said it looks like Hawksback, and we drove down another road, and I said to him, it feels exactly like it did in Durban. It's really just, it is so beautiful. New Zealand is really beautiful.
We were privileged enough to see a small part of the world already. We were lucky enough. We saw Scotland, we saw Ireland, we saw England. And everywhere in New Zealand you travel, you could go and say, oh, that looks like that area in Scotland. Oh, do you remember the area in Ireland? It looks like that.
You get a part of every
part of New Zealand
in
every place.
So, no, it is really beautiful.
And back to our video that we shot for Expedition Aotearoa. That's only part 1. Part 2 will be released next week. Then we do some bit more adventurous, not hectic, adventurous 4x4 driving. So
I decided that this time I'll go with him.
The wife is going with. So.
I'll just wear an Alice band, no makeup.
Okay. So you're gonna blast it.
Yes, that's not the part that's bothering me. It's the bathroom facilities that's bothering me.
So for anybody that wants to go on our next trip, which is the 10th to the 12th of December, we are going down to an area between Tauranga and Taupo. It's called 42 Traverse. It's a very specific 4x4 route, and that's only opening on the 1st of December. It's been closed until now. They close it due to safety precautions.
Is it not safe?
No, it's scrappy when it's wet.
Okay,
It's
I don't want to
slip
go
and
with
slide.
you if it's not going to be safe.
No, it's and then from this time of the year they start cutting it open again.
I don't want to be scared.
No, you won't be scared. So, and then we're going to do another one.
Yeah.
But we're keeping that under the wraps.
When is that?
No, at the same time. We're gonna camp 2 days, travel 3 nights.
If it's not safe, I get out and I walk.
Nah, it's fine. You won't walk there. So just popping down to the Expedition Aotearoa. Aotearoa is the Maori name. It means land of the long white cloud.
You know what? I have a friend, one of the first people that I met when we moved to New Zealand. She was also my first hairdresser. And she had this beautiful way of talking about New Zealand. When she talks about New Zealand, she says Hemelland. So, isn't it beautiful?
Put that in English. Heaven country.
Heaven country. I think it's because of the land of the big white cloud. It's just so beautiful. She talks about Hemelland. And it is Hemelland. To me, it's Hemelland. I just love New Zealand.
But I've got a contradiction here. One of the big things I say about New Zealand is another great reason to live in New Zealand. If you love surfing and other water sports, there's no way in New Zealand you're further than 120 kilometers from the coast. That is so. But the surfing, come on, surfing.
Yes, I know.
The waves is this high.
Yes, I know that. But don't be taken aback. We went swimming. We bought ourselves bodyboards when we got here. We lived in Papamoa, very close to the beach. So we just had this image of going swimming every day and whatever. So we take our bodyboards to the beach, and we went in. We didn't even go in very far, but the waves are this high, but it's just like it's like a washing machine. That thing, I fell down with my bodyboard, and I couldn't get up again. I was rolling around in this shallow waters. I think people that saw me must have thought, this poor lady. So I said to him, you know what? I'll just go swimming without a bodyboard. It doesn't work.
You know what is sad?
What?
We don't have a video of that day.
It was so funny. So it's actually, I think it's actually very dangerous.
Yeah.
I can just imagine what will happen if a little child gets caught up in that.
Yeah, probably could not too good, eh?
Are you going to try to pronounce that?
I'm going to try and put this on there. Let me try and put that on there, then we can see.
It's the town with the longest name in the world.
Yeah.
I know he tried to pronounce it.
Oh, no, I did.
Yes, you did.
I don't know if it was correct, but I tried to.
I'm not even going to try.
Now, because I have tried in the past, it's your chance to do that now. So, yeah.
Tamata waka tangianga kawawau tamatia tu ripu kakapiki moga.
No.
Faina kita na tau.
The W is F, eh? So, tau matau whakatangi hanga kauawata mate aute.
I just did it.
Ripu kaka piki maunga horon nu kupo kai wenua kitan.
Whenua.
Okay, come on, let's stop there. I think I must ask my friend
Frank. Yes, Frank can
to
pronounce
this
it.
for me. So, yeah. Yes, yeah. You know about the thing about sheep in New Zealand?
Yeah.
I actually had this thing about horses and sheep. But
Yeah.
New Zealanders has got, for every person in this country, presumably there is 10 sheep.
Producing.
You know what that means? You know what that means?
Lots of choppies.
No, lots of choppies! Fried flies!
I remember when we were first here in 2016 and we just drove around the country. This sheep, it looked like stones. It looked like rocks on the mountains, and it was actually sheep.
Actually, I had to stop at the ones just to make sure that we're seeing the right thing. I mean, the sheep was so, it looked like the whole mountain was white.
Yeah.
So, one other quick fact is Baldwin Street in Dunedin is the world's steepest road.
I actually
I saw that.
Yeah, we were there.
We were there.
And ek het hoogtevrees gekry toe ek daar bo staan. I won't be able to walk down that street.
And no photo ever taken of Baldwin Street is doing it any justice. No. I saw a few photos of Baldwin Street. What?
It's not bad.
What are they doing? No. Until you stand there, this road goes up there.
Yeah.
So
it's not even from the bottom. It doesn't even look that bad from the top.
But if you start climbing high. That hill up, it becomes extremely steep.
It's really high.
We were actually talking about, let's say somebody buy a packet of lemons and they walk to the top and the packet breaks open.
Oh wow! I'll just leave it.
Those lemons becomes missiles down that road. So last two quick facts. The most southerly capital in the world is not only the world's most windiest capital, it is Wellington. So that's interesting. And then most people know that Maori and English is an official language in New Zealand as well as sign language. Yeah. So those oaks doing this thing.
I still don't know Maori and I still don't know
sign language as well.
Yeah.
So you use sign language a lot. Don't do that. Don't. That's my wife's sign language. And interesting fact, and that could probably get back. I think our first fact was the fact that New Zealand is the least populated place in the world, but it's also the last country in the world to be inhabited by humans.
Yeah.
So
it's a very new country.
1,000 years or 800 years or something like that. So that's us in short this morning.
Yes. Just one other thing. I heard that Auckland will be able to actually leave Auckland for the Christmas holidays.
I want to say that's good news, actually. Aucklanders are allowed to pop out by the 15th of December.
It seems like you just have to be double vaccinated or you have to have a negative COVID test. Yeah. So that's a little bit of good news.
Yeah. So that will probably get the Aucklanders out and we'll see some of Aucklanders around town again.
Man, I really hope that the borders will open.
So we've booked a camping spot down at Hahei.
Yeah.
So we'll be down there. So
for Christmas. It will be our first beach holiday for Christmas in New Zealand. We're really looking forward.
Yeah, just somebody saying that long name that you read, that makes
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Okay.
I can say that.
Okay. I haven't practiced that as yet.
I had a friend at school and we used to say that little rhyme all the time.
I've got a thought now.
What?
I'll put this up later. I'll put the name up. Let's give people a chance to pronounce the name on video. You post a video we'll give you the page, and for the best one, we'll give $100.
That's a very good idea.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah. No stopping in between,
no thinking,
no spelling. So you have to practice before you do it.
You can either practice or you can just wing it. And
that's a good idea.
It can also be the best, except pronunciation, also be the best, can I say, facial figures, because it's not very easy to say that.
Yeah.
I will post my one, because the one where I pronounce that name is somewhere on the internet. It's also scary.
Yeah. But you're not allowed to win that.
No, I'm not allowed to win money, but I'll see that somebody else wins $100. How does that sound? Is that a good challenge this morning?
When are you giving away money again to your clients?
We're going to do that next week.
Next week.
We're going to give some money away next week as well to one of the clients. But this week we'll make this competition open to everybody, and we'll have that down there. So and we'll give some, let's say $100 to whoever pronounces that incredibly long or the longest name in the world correctly. Yep. Okay. What have we got? We got 3 minutes over. What do you want to tell people? I want to say, if you haven't booked for December, I think you won't get any spots.
Yeah, I spoke to someone yesterday. They said in the end, they live in Tauranga and they're going to camp in Mount Manganui because they just couldn't get any other
places available. So
yeah, I really look forward to this. I think we all need like just a little bit of a break and a holiday. And this year, your laptop and whatever stays at home. We're going to have a holiday.
We also have to talk about
I don't think he knows what it means to have a holiday.
And then I need to put a warning to Aucklanders.
What?
I'm going to warn Aucklanders because Expedition Aotearoa is probably going to be in Auckland in January. If all goes well, we'll be down in Auckland way. We have a few things planned for Auckland that we couldn't do at all. That was a bit tied down. But Auckland is on the charts for January or February. One of these two times we will go to Auckland. So, guys, stay tuned for that. Our next Expedition Aotearoa video will be coming out next week about this time. So thanks for everybody who always listens to us, who tunes in, who to give some comments. See, there was a comment from Muscat about, can you bait your own hook? Yeah, you can probably do that. And to other people who said like the West Coast of New Zealand, like Durban, Lauren, Anita from us actually says, Mariska, your hare like baie good. That's in English. Your hair looks good.
Baie dankie. It must be because we can still visit our hairdressers.
Yeah, Monica was saying, oh my word, you look so good this morning, early in the morning. I think she was speaking to me.
Yeah, it must be.
Me.
Must be.
All right, guys, that's us. We're out of here. See you next week.
Enjoy
same
your day,
time,
your
same
holiday.
place.
And I just want to ask if there's any topic that you want us to kind of just have a look into and maybe get some discussions around that. Please let us know. It's sometimes difficult to think of something that can be interesting for other people to listen to.
And if there's anything on the immigration side, we'll just pull Vanita in. She's always been wonderful. She's always been helping, and I know she's helped a heck of a lot of outlines as well. All right, stay good, stay safe.
Bye.
In South Africa. Goodbye.
Bye.